The revolution may not be televised, but it will be broadcasted. Welcome to True Culture, where we stay true to all cultures, especially our own. Thanks for tuning in to the Tap In. You are now vibing with the host who loves you the most. I am Waddy. Joining us today is an award winning motivational speaker, founder of Dreamers Inspiration, president of Spark LLC, and CEO of Execs Suit Company. Not only that, but this brother is also an artist, producer, and award winning athlete. Sisters and brothers, let's give a warm True Culture welcome to Justin Drummond, also known as the Inspirationist.
Let's get it. Hey, let's get it. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here with us today, brother. How you
Sure.
feeling?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Just had a busy day. Delivered some suits. I'm trying to just get more business every day.
Sounds good to me, man. I'm happy to hear that. And first of all, Justin, let me say this, man. Much love and respect to you for all the important work you've been doing in the community and in the business world.
Thank you.
It truly is important, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, definitely. It's just trying to be an example, black ownership and just black intelligence to be able to build businesses and to be able to thrive and, just show that we can do it, but it's about time we just start doing it on the ownership side.
Right,
And that's the
right.
key thing. Let me fix this light. These lights are super, let me turn this off. It's perfect right here.
No
All right,
problem.
perfect. Yeah, and just trying to be an example. I started young with the idea of wanting to be rich, still young.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of that idea. And it's paid off. I've taken a lot of risk, and I'd love to talk about them as we get into it.
I love it, man. Now you've been putting in work for a while, man, on the court, in the
Yeah.
business world, in the community. Justin, how did you go from basketball jerseys to business suits?
Funny thing is, never knew I would be here. I never even knew I would be a Division I basketball player, but I've just, continued to take it one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I ended up. I started out playing basketball at a really young age. I mean, it was really a passion. I didn't really get my height till like 10th grade in high school, so that's when I really knew I can go to college. Where everybody that's under 6'1",
Yeah,
they
six
kind of
four,
yeah.
190. Woo.
Yeah. So I kind of shot up where everybody kind of stayed like this. So
Uh-huh.
that helped separate me on the basketball level. I always loved safety. Like outside of basketball, I would always do locking the doors, like making sure we were safe and everything like that. And that's kind of what my company is about. But didn't really know I would tap into that later on once I became an adult and really
Mm-hmm.
thought about, what are my passions, my real passions beyond just basketball. So I went to school, went to Loyola University, Maryland, killed it there. Went to the tournament, won so many accolades as a bench player. And,
Yeah.
so I kind of, have a more pride on that now because I just had a tough situation up there with dealing with the coach and everything like that. So 2 years, but had a great experience.
Is that why you ended up going to Toledo?
Toledo. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I won the sixth man of the year. I was the only bench player on the conference team, on the all conference team. I was all tournament. I was like, I was just I had the most accolades on the team, but I was a bench player, like 6 minutes. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I can't stay here and let you do this to my career. So
Right.
I left and transferred to Toledo, University of Toledo, where we had an amazing first year. We started out like 12-0. We were big time. We were big time for those 2 years. We were right under like Gonzaga and Wichita State
Mm.
for those 2 years, and we left a great impact. And that's where life started to unfold with starting my company and just really coming into
Right.
who is Justin Drummond.
That's awesome.
So
And you started Spark C LLC. Is it Spark C LLC or is
so
it Spark
So
LLC?
that's a great question. That's a great question.
Okay.
So the reason why so it's really called Spark C, but the reason why I put C on the end is because somebody else had the name Spark, and I couldn't get the website.
Okay. Okay.
So, but ultimately, if you see my logo, the C is not a C. It's like a sharp, really sharp C. It'll cut you. If you mess
Okay.
with it.
All right.
So,
Had to go
so
around,
like,
had to figure ways around that situation.
yeah,
So
had
I
to
dig
figure
it
ways
though.
around it. So, but I like to take that same name and put it on paper because at the end of the day, if you see Spark C, you be like, okay, that's Spark. Like,
Right.
I know who that Spark is rather than just the name Spark. And if you say Spark C, you know, or Sparks, just keep the A on there. You're going to do K, you know, so whatever you choose. But it was more of a branding thing too, just to really make the name stand out. But the C was because I kind of had to adjust, and I wasn't really about to change the name because the name was spot on.
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
Spark part. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I could see why you wouldn't want to change that, especially if something
Mhm.
you really wanted to,
Yeah. And it's
name
kind
your
of like,
business.
yeah. And it's kind of like, you know, doing business as Spark, but on paper, we Spark C type thing.
Well, you
Yeah.
started that company back when you were singing in college, and
Junior.
I mean, you were a student athlete, so I know how that is. I was a student athlete for a while too, and
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if you had two-a-days or not, brother, but if you
Oh, yeah.
did,
2 days for sure.
okay. So
Yeah.
a schedule full of college courses and two-a-days. Where did Spark,
Right.
fit into that schedule?
Yeah. These are great questions. So when I was hooping, I don't know what it was because we were like 12-0 when I started my business, and I was the leading scorer on the team. I mean, I was the guy.
Hmm.
But I
I saw
always,
some highlights. You was definitely sick with it,
yeah,
man.
yeah, no, I was pretty good. No, I put the
Yeah.
time in. I tell you, I put the time in. So,
Hmm.
um, but you know, even though I was so good and I and everything, basketball was just never life for me. I mean, not saying I was smarter than other people, but I just, you know, I was able to look at other examples and be able to craft my life around the mistakes that were made via the examples that came before me.
Hmm.
So via that, you know, I've always loved safety. I had parents that are entrepreneurs, not really in the safety field or in the field that I'm in, but so I've seen it, I've been around it, but I never knew that I would do it. But you know, my junior year, man, I just had to be ahead of the game. The time to prepare ain't when the time comes. The time to prepare when you know it's time to prepare.
Right.
And that's what I took advantage of. You know, I was trying to preach this to my teammates as well. You get the jokes, man. What you mean, man? You know, we play basketball. Da 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 da.
You heard a few people
Um,
laughing at you for reading those
oh yeah,
entrepreneur
they
books
was laughing at
in
me.
college, but
Oh,
now look at you. Yeah.
now they call me yo. How do I do this, yo?
Yeah, you were ahead of the game.
And I'm loving to give them information because you know, just like they say in the good book, they know not what they do. I'm like, you don't know what you're doing by laughing. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Laughing at me, I'm about to try to build a business, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, so that's, you know, that was a challenge. You know, kind of going through that process. You know, I'm the leading scorer. People like, hold on, why is he starting a business? I mean, even down to some of my coaches like doubting, like, yo, what am I doing? Like, am I getting my head on straight? Like, you know. I'm like, yo, you think my head on not straight for starting a business when you know, especially in the environment I'm in? I'm like, man, you're crazy. So I just roll with it, you know. I was kind of Justin Drummond, so you know, the newspaper picked it up. There's a newspaper article still online when I first started it. So I used the fact that I was Justin Drummond silently to my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But I did everything normal though, like. So people would hear this now, but back then, this, you know, it was just by the book, and it ultimately was. So, you know, and I bought a book called Introduction to Private Security. I didn't know a
Oh
thing
man,
about
okay.
private security, and read the whole joint, read the whole book. You know, we drive into games and stuff. You got 7-hour bus rides. You got days in hotels doing nothing. So
That's
I'm
true.
like,
You do have time. It's about how
yeah,
to
about how
utilize
you
your
use it.
time.
It's
Yeah.
about how you use it, yeah. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to have a little light on, you know, on the bus, turn on that light, and I'm reading, you know, when we getting back at 3, 4 a.m. But I learned how to do security assessments. I really learned more about the industry, and I started making money my junior season at school. I made like $3,000. I was balling.
That's for a college student.
Yeah,
Now, and you had a scholarship too, so it wasn't like you were
exactly.
struggling. So that's really money that you made.
Yeah, really money that I made,
Wow.
and it was, I really had a strategy, whereas, you know. So let's just, you know, we got to play the game too. So you got boosters, you got donors and all this stuff that, you know, people that support the program. And these people usually have money, right? So on a scale of I'm Justin Drummond, but silently, I'm not saying that I'm Justin Drummond. I mean, I am, but I'm in business. Here's Spark.
Right.
You know, I'm coming
Right.
to you as Spark and I'm the president. And I got some opportunities to do like security assessments for some of the supporters of the Toledo program. And it was all legit. It was all official. And actually I got audited by the NCAA over $3,000. I'm like, man,
Wow.
y'all make billions
They
off
so
of it.
that's the only part of NCAA, man, collegiate
Yo,
athletics that
yo,
I just
really, like,
really
I
can't
had to send in
stand.
I had to send in the assessments, send in everything. I'm like, and everything was so official, but it just really showed, man, they're not really here for the growth of you. It's more of, profit.
Meanwhile, the real boosters are not being investigated.
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly.
we
Right.
won't get into all of
Really
that. But
cut it up.
yeah, so pretty much you, while everyone was laughing at you, thinking
Mhm.
you're sitting around goofing off, wasting
Right.
time on something that's just idiotic or stupid to
Exactly.
do, you were ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you,
Sure.
so when other people were on the phone talking to girls or watching
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube or watching World Star, some crazy crap, you were actually educating yourself on the business, and you started your business while you were in
In
college.
college, yeah.
Tell us why that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, great question. I love these questions. So I always calculated, all right, with the business, it takes about a year and some change before you even start really making money. Now, you have the ones that are lucky, you have the ones that got this connection and that. But for the majority of us, we got to take the steps.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so when I get home, I don't want to play basketball. And the thing was, my father was a big basketball fan, and I was pretty good. So, that wasn't a great conversation, me telling him I wasn't going to
Yeah.
play basketball. But I thought about that before I got home. This is like, I'm probably like just starting my senior year. And the reason why that I started in junior year, but I kind of got more serious as I got past that summer, was because I knew I needed to have things ready when I got out of school, so I was reaching out to clients. I was doing all that while I was playing my senior year. People didn't know that.
Mm.
Like, I would be in a hotel room, I'm hooping, my mind is there. But my senior year, I hurt my ankle pretty bad. We were playing Oregon, and I hurt my ankle pretty bad. So I just kind of knew. I'm like, all right, dog, you ain't gonna be able to average 20 on this ankle. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I just really just kind of kept it real with myself. And it's time to really shift your focus. And those 2 years helped me to be able to not have to get a job coming out of school because of the connections I was building back home. Like, I was reaching out to public safety departments out here in Maryland and DC and Virginia, because that's where I had to come back. And I was doing that for about a year because I knew I didn't want to have to get a job once I got back home.
Smart.
So I'm like, dude, if I wait till the end to start a business, you definitely getting a job. Like, you know how long it takes to even get clients to get in rooms?
Right. Right.
So I foresaw that when my junior year, but I really put the pedal to the metal with my during my senior year to really kind of use those 2 years as business development. Because when my dad got home, when I got home, my dad wasn't happy I wasn't playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And, he told me to get a job. But I'm like, well, I already got a job. I'm just not really making money yet. But as long as I give you what you need, as far as rent or whatever, you can't really tell me how I'm making my money.
Right.
And that was the strategy, and it works. I mean, there's no way. I mean, so to this day, I've never had a job. People don't. I've never had a job. I played basketball, and then I started my
You
business.
work, but you've never had a job.
Yeah, hey, I
I
love that.
like
Hey,
that. I like that.
work but never had a job. Exactly, and it was literally planned out. I mean, literally
And
when
you
I was
had
doing,
options too, Justin. I mean, let's
yeah, I
be
did
real here.
exactly.
I'd be remiss if I don't mention the fact that
Yeah,
you had options. You could have played professional basketball.
sure, for
And that
sure.
choice right there is like, and when I say options, I mean you had options for different teams.
Mm-hmm,
You could have stayed here, you could have gone overseas.
mm-hmm,
I mean, most athletes make that decision.
mm-hmm.
So like what inspired you to just stick to the business world and really, like 100% put your all into entrepreneurship rather than going and following your basketball dreams and disappointing your family on top of that's a lot.
Right, it's a lot. Yeah, and I had the skill, man. I had the skills to pay the bills. Like, it was no question. I mean, because I really put in the time, and it was tough for me. I mean, just to really let all of it go, let all the fans. I mean, I had a lot of people that really enjoyed just watching me play. So that was a little tough. But I always say, wise people learn from others. I mean, smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from others' mistakes.
Mm.
And like I said, I have so many friends, so many, people I used to look up to or still look up to, or just, big bros that have gone overseas, that have gone that route, that have pretty much, whether it's low level, high level, or, comes to the highest levels of overseas, it's still a very risky business.
Right.
At the end of the day, you are literally one play for being on your mama's couch, especially in that
Oh yeah.
overseas life. You see, in America, they sign a multi-million-dollar contract where the risk doesn't, where the risk clearly, I mean, where the reward clearly outweighs the risk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing overseas, that dynamic is totally changed. I mean, you're dealing with sometimes these organizations be corrupt, don't be paying folks, all type of just, they kind of play with you
That's
at
most
a
of the
very,
time. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's like,
crazy the business world how these people try to take advantage of other people.
exactly,
Yeah.
and they try to take advantage, and it was just, I have something, I have something. So will I make more money on the business side than I will on the basketball side? I answered the question truly, yes. If we think about the longevity, if we think about the ability to maintain my body, um, and the ability to at least be near my family, right? And I say a lot of people that go overseas, it's the sad truth is, you have to come back here, and when they ask you what you've been doing for 8 years on a resume, professional basketball is not cutting that.
Right.
It's
Right.
not cutting that,
You're not making what you really deserve,
Right.
and especially the difference between what you're getting paid and what someone else is making off of you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a
For
huge
sure.
difference.
And when they come back here at 31, 32, haven't really had no professional experience, you're trying to go get the job that the fresh 24-year-old that just got out of school get, and he
Right.
got an internship, he got this and that. It's a no-brainer for a
And now
company.
now you're behind. You're behind for all the people that were like you who were starting their businesses young. You
Exactly.
behind the you behind the ball.
Behind the eight ball now.
Yeah.
And
So
and they can honestly pay that 24-year-old kid less than probably you 32, so it's like I calculated all of those factors. Like in my senior year, I really calculated all of them, and I was like, man, I'm tripping. I mean,
and
I'm
that
tripping.
debt you have to pay off as well. You got to figure
Yeah,
out how you're going to get a job to pay that debt off. So I mean,
exactly.
you know, I
Yeah, so
definitely see that, and I love the fact that you talk about securing opportunities
yeah,
because I feel like that's what we miss out on a lot as well. Is like opportunities. Okay, let's be real. Opportunities for people who look like me and you are limited in this country,
sure,
but there
definitely.
are still some opportunities. So the
Yeah,
opportunities that we do have that do present itself, we need to make sure that we capitalize
yeah.
off of
Mhm.
those opportunities and, like you said, secure them. So I want you to tell our listeners, explain to them how process kills business.
Oh yeah, I love this. Oh, perfect. I go through this stuff every day. All right. So we talk about process kills business. So when you're starting a business, right, and you're trying to grow. So let's say you're 2 years in business, and eventually your business will have a process, right? Every business deal will have a process, right? So if you're going after 50, and this I'm gonna tell you literally off this is literally my experience. So $15,000 deals don't take long to do, right?
Right.
They probably take about 2 months. You got to do contracts. They got to do a couple of things, get a purchase order. You're pretty much on the go, right? So through that time, though, you're getting paid so you can pay your people. But when you're trying to scale, let's say I tried to get like an $85,000 opportunity, which we did get,
Mm-hmm.
but it took me 6 months to get it.
Mm.
But I got 3 employees that get paid every 2 weeks. See, they don't know that.
They don't know that, right? They don't know that part of it.
And the people, honestly, that I'm working with, they already getting paid. Like, if my contract started this week or next week, or they gonna get they gonna get their direct deposit regardless,
Right.
you know. And that's why, especially during COVID now, it's double because things that used to take 1 week take them 1 month. But people's pay scale ain't changed. They still getting paid every
It's
two
still
weeks,
getting
right?
paid, right?
And that's what I mean is the process of getting business ultimately could be the process that kills your business, because
That makes
I
sense.
can't I can't main, I can't maintain payroll for 6 months getting this opportunity. Like, for example, I just went through my first cyber audit, and we went through
Mm.
our cyber audit in August, but I hired the guy in April.
Dang. Wow.
But the business didn't
Mm.
move until August. But I just can't let him go and bring him back on. So when the time comes, I need you to be ready. I need you to know what we do. I need you to prove that we're gonna pass this audit. So that's, as a business, I had to invest almost $10,000 before he even did any work.
Wow.
But that was based on what the client told me I need to be ready for. You see, the client don't care about that. But at the end of the day, you can't go to your employees and say, I don't have it these 2 weeks. That's the contract that you signed with them literally, people think they got pressure, man. Take care of other people's families is pressure, regardless of taking care of yours.
Make it right. Being
And,
in
you know,
charge of
and
other people's livelihoods is
yeah,
definitely
like, they really look to you as their provider. I mean, let's just keep it 100. Beyond the employee term and all that stuff, you're providing for people.
right.
And that's what, the difficult part is, where, the process of getting those $1 million deals and those $2 million deals, or even 6 figures, the business may be able not to stay afloat until that time comes. And that's what I literally mean with process kills business. Every 2 weeks that payroll hits, and, the client that you're working with is not aware of that. And honestly, that's not their problem. And that's literally why I say process kills business.
It makes a lot of sense what you just said. It really does. And in the way that our U.S. economy is structured, Justin, I mean, America puts pressure on U.S. citizens to compromise their dreams for a paycheck. Every day, someone is put under pressure. Like, should
Yeah,
I do this or should I do that?
right.
And so, tell us how you remain motivated and focused on your ultimate goal.
Uh, Honestly, first thing, the ability to see a business grow. I mean, like, to actually see it grow motivates you more, because that actually means that you've proven your concept. Like, literally,
Mm,
we just started a new service with Spark not too long ago. We did some really cool training technologies, but I never really secured a big deal because COVID hit and like everything just flew away. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
so we just scored about an $8,000 deal, for a very, and I actually got paid my price, but it really proves my concept. So now I'm motivated. I'm like, dog, this concept is proven, from my highest level, the type of client
proof
that
of
purchased it.
concept. Yep.
Yeah, it really proved my concept. So
Mhm.
I would say that is a motivation, seeing, that what you're doing is actually working. And the other motivation is, I like to be on my own time. Time is the one thing you can't get back. And money, as a business, you don't even look at money. I mean, like, my payroll be 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 7,000. I mean, so the idea of me attaching to money is very short, because I can't save it and it goes very fast. So that's something that I've been accustomed to, just having, that's kind of just the way my mind works.
Right.
Money comes and money goes, but my time is what's most valuable. And that's something that motivates me to continue to grow and continue to be able to be a boss, because I can control my time. Especially when I have kids and stuff. The way the word is, I want access to my kids at all times. I'm not trying to have to be
Right.
on
Right.
somebody else. I need access to my children.
That's another
When it
beautiful
comes,
benefit
yeah,
of having your own business.
yeah,
The
yeah.
fact that
It's
you
like,
can make your own. I mean, you have to work. You
right,
have to do the work.
right,
So in a way, it's even harder because there's no one but you as far as putting that fire up underneath you to like actually get the work
right,
done.
yeah.
But the benefit is that if you have a family, you can make your own schedule, man.
Get on schedule, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say those are the two things, and just say taking care of my employees. I have some employees that really been down with me for a while. I mean, like 3, 4 years, when I even couldn't even pay them, and they still just held it down. So
That's
that's
beautiful.
probably my third motivation, to give them back, the return for their
Mhm.
investment. But pretty much those three, yeah, those three, and I'm pretty much moving every day at 7 a.m.
So you were motivated. So you were motivated as an athlete to provide just you and your family with financial freedom.
Yeah,
One, you
ultimately,
also motivated because you want to give your knowledge to other athletes, because
hmm,
this is something, the way that you were thinking in college, I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure you know this, of course, but I'm pretty sure like 5% of athletes are thinking on your we're thinking on your level as far as like after college, what
right,
am I going to do after sports? So you want
right.
to give that to them. What motivated you to become an motivational speaker though? Like what prompted that move?
Yeah. So I like to attribute it to when I won the championship in 2012 of the MAC at Loyola. We
Mm,
had a senior big man. His name is Shane, and he really kind of showed me what leadership was on a basketball level. Like, as far as holding people accountable, understand the leader is never first, leader is last.
right.
Um, and just those concepts, I took that to Toledo, because I was the only one that has really won something. These other guys at Toledo, they haven't really won. Like, there's a formula to winning. It's not, it doesn't just happen. Like, to winning champion is a formula. And I took that there, implemented that. And from there, I was like, I really kind of tapped into my leadership skills and
Mm-hmm.
tapped into my ability to inspire people or to motivate people to reach a certain goal, because I had to do that with my teammates.
Right.
I mean, my teammates, I mean, motivation, whatever it is, but enjoying doing that. So when I was at Toledo, you know, I'm on billboards, literally. I mean, billboards on the highway, you see my face. So people know me, you know. In Toledo, it's no professional team. It's a very small town. So literally the school is the NBA for them. So,
Good for
um,
you.
yeah, no,
Good for you and
no,
any other players at
yeah, it was
Toledo.
cool. That's why I went there, literally, because
Y'all
it
got
was
treated
top
like
notch. Like,
royalty, man. Top flight.
yeah, fan love, one like on a million.
That's dope.
Um, yeah. So when I was just kind of speaking to kids and stuff, you know, I would go out to, you know, speak at small 10, 10 kids, a classroom, lunch table, you know, a lunch room, a lunch session. And I really started enjoying it. And it became, fun for me. And I had a lot of downtime, especially during the summer times. You know, you're at school, you just got, practice, and you just coming back home and chilling, probably doing summer school. And I really just tapped into, learning how to do videos and, filming videos, inspirational videos. So that was one way that I wanted to get them out as well. But just speaking in front of people was something natural that came to me once I really embraced the leadership role through basketball. So I would say basketball was a real igniter to my ability, because I'm sitting here trying to, inspire grown 6'10" men, you know what I mean? So it's a different level of that comes into that.
Right, right.
So it just was like, man, if I could do the I definitely could do the all. So it was just something that I just been enjoying, and I'm really creative, so it kind of feeds to my
Yeah,
outlet.
I can see that you're very creative, and for you to
Yeah,
just like start like how you getting into producing and everything, and I really love the what you're doing.
yeah. So I would say that's pretty much the motivation, the way the motivation got sparked, and yeah. And I'm waiting for the inspirations question. I know this will kind of tie into it,
You
but
know what?
I'll
You know
wait till
what? I'm thinking of what I want to ask you about that.
yeah.
I know that the Merriam-Webster's definition
Right,
of inspirationist is one who holds inspiration,
right,
especially of scripture.
right.
Now, what made you create a new definition for the word and make it your own?
So the new definition for the word was, first thing, I wanted to be unique, right? And the way that I'm doing with Dreamers Inspiration, I want it to be a brand, but also to be something that is more of I don't want to say creative personality, but like, for every superhero foundation, you have a superhero, right? And I wanted to be the first one under Dreamers Inspiration, because ultimately, I want to bring other positive talents up that we can market. I mean, there's art. I mean, there's so much money and stuff for our young people and the talents that they have,
Abundance of money, man.
but we just don't
Gotta
have
hit.
the foundations to fund them, and honesty and integrity to actually give them what they deserve. But you can't be thirsty for money. See, that's why I got other businesses. So I don't
Right,
need your money. I
right.
need us to grow so you can help my,
Say
my
that one more time, man. I
yeah.
don't need your
Oh,
money. I got
yeah.
other businesses.
I got other businesses. Yeah, I don't need your money.
People
I got
don't
other
get that,
businesses.
man.
But I need you to do good so you can help the other kid get a
For you to
business.
do good.
Yeah. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not doing good so I can
I'm
get it.
fine.
Yeah, I'm doing good so you can help the other kid. Because, if I'm dead 20, or whatever,
Right.
80, when I'm 80 years old or whatever, you know, the impacts that I made to help keep that thing going. I mean,
Pay it forward. Pay it
that's the
forward.
only way we're gonna get up. I mean, that is
Yes.
really the only way. Ain't no law, ain't no nothing, ain't no president, ain't nothing's going to do it but us literally who got a connection, who's found their way. All right, bet. Let's find a way how we can find another way. And
Mm-hmm.
that was ultimately kind of the one of the reasons, as far as I like to say, the inspiration is provides inspiration, information, and the access to opportunity. That's kind of my definition
I
of what.
like that definition better, honestly.
Yeah,
I need to
because
change that.
inspiration, information is some of the biz talk. You see some of the biz talk stuff I give, and the access to opportunity. I got 3 businesses right now. Soon enough, they're gonna be successful. So who need jobs? Who need internships? Who who needs a connection? Who can I go after a contract, subcontract with? Who can I do these things with? And that's what I mean really with the access to opportunity. So I inspire you. I give you the information if you want to start a business. And now I have a business. How can we work together where I can start making you some money?
Right. Right.
You know? So
Man,
those
we
three
need more brothers
components,
like you out here, man.
yeah, those three components kind of like, because like people give you inspiration without the information. People give you information without access to opportunity. I'm like, oh, it has to be a combination of three. You can't just motivate people and then like, well, you gotta go for
Right.
yourself. It's like, well, they
Right.
came to you to be inspired. So you have to understand it's not just it's a three-piece meal, you know? And that's kind of how I've really seen, it actually be able to go into fruition as far as changing people's lives.
I really like that, Justin. That's real. You can't just open people up and
Yeah, and just
inspire them. You have to give them the tools
right.
that they can use to go move forward with.
Have to,
You
yeah.
have to.
People go to these, these inspirational conferences and get all charged up, but dog, he can't come home with you. What you gonna take back that can keep that same level of fire in you? Now, if
Right.
you had more information and an access to an opportunity, you would get up off your ass and go figure that out. But if it's just inspiration, all right, I need more videos, I need more, podcasts. But I'm like, bro,
Right.
that's not gonna do anything
Need more some of
though.
that energy transfer, that positive energy transfer, but that's
Exactly.
still not going to.
It's
You
still not
still need that tool. You still need that the action behind that
exactly.
too.
And
You
that
know.
comes from the one who is giving the inspiration. So that's pretty much my definition for it. The one who inspires through inspiration, information, and access to opportunity.
You know what? You got me thinking now. I think that it's very important for you to tell my true culture family about the principles of purpose, Justin.
The principles of purpose. Okay.
Yes, I really love your principles of purpose.
Yeah. So principles of purpose. I mean, the first thing I always say, and I've kind of ran into this a little bit, but I've always kind of put my best foot forward and keep the right mindset. Is you got to have integrity in business. Like
Mm,
as far as no matter what people, because you're going to start off getting underpaid. You're going to start off getting underpaid, and I tell people you're gonna be broke waiting on that money. If you go to the people that you want to do work with and add them value, okay, you may not get paid for this project, but the person that you showed this to will pay you. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I forgot the phrase. I got so many quotes. I forgot the phrase that I use when people just
That's
wait on
happened to
money.
me a million times over too.
Yeah,
The first or second one, you get paid. You might not get paid what you're supposed to, but after that, it's like you get paid so much more for the contract that you're
exactly.
like, shit, it paid off.
It's like people be waiting on the smallest check. I'm like, man, I tell people past performance is everything. And, that's really how I got my first opportunities. I did something free for Howard University. From there, Howard University being on their logo under mine for a project got me George Washington University.
Look how that
So,
happened. And you were born at Howard University Hospital, weren't you?
yeah, it was.
Look
Hey,
at that. Look,
love
Howard
you.
University
Yeah,
just doing that, just
yeah,
showing you mad love. I love that,
yeah.
man.
No,
Shout out
Howard,
Howard University, man.
they definitely have. So I would
Yeah.
say the first one is integrity. The third one I would say, the second one I would say, I have three. So second one I would say is preparedness. You gotta be prepared. You
Good one.
know, I've, oh, man, I don't know how many brothers I've tried to hook up and they just botch it. And these brothers just like me. And I'm like, so it's no excuse, bro. Being on time is no excuse. But also being prepared intellectually. I always, when I go into meetings with folks, I'm always researching,
Hmm.
always understanding who I'm talking to. People love to hear about themselves and being prepared, intellectually as far as physically, but the intellectual part has really been just a strong principle for me to actually really move forward, but to gain connections. Like if you don't have connections, you ain't got no business. Like if you don't have the connections, especially if you're not in like a straight consumer, one-off type of business, it's tough. So that's one thing I would say. And the next thing, I would say I see a lot of people doing this, but not scaling too fast.
Hmm.
I saw somebody open a barbershop under COVID-19.
People wow right now.
And I'm like,
I
and I'm
hope they.
like,
Much power to
more
them.
power to
Much
them.
much
Yeah,
respect, and I hope it works out.
I hope it works out. But there's also being smart, you know, and and that's something that I like kind of just back to that phrase, smart people learn from their own mistakes and wise people learn from others. I really believe that I've gotten this far is because I've been wise
Mm,
and I've learned from others' mistakes. I don't have to make the same mistake. I mean, I don't have to make the same mistake for me to learn from it. And, you know, because it slows you up. You make mistakes, you definitely going backwards. Like
Right.
mistakes don't push you forward, you know? And that's something that, you know, I've always just trusted my instincts. But I would say those three. I got so many, you know,
Yeah, it's
I can
probably a
tell
rack
you
of them, but
inspirational.
those
I got a
basic.
rack of them. I can write a book on them. But those are some of the main three that pretty much keep me grounded and that I hold on to, you know, as I go through my daily grind.
Hey, it's funny you mentioned about the person. Oh, somebody opened up a barber shop. I've been sitting back watching people open up businesses too, and I'm just like, I'm what? They must be laundering money
Right?
or
That's
something. Like, what is the scammers are out here, ain't they? It's the
yeah,
scammers.
they out. Oh
Honestly, the
yeah, for sure.
COVID-19 has really opened up a space for even more scamming.
Oh yeah, I got so many
It's
asterisks.
crazy.
Yeah, I feel you, but you got to ask you by your name, dog, because you can't do business with me. I mean, yeah,
I don't talk to
it's crazy. I
nobody,
mean, and
man.
I
I
get
don't.
it. You know, I get it. Survival of the fittest. I get it, but there's consequences to your actions. Just
Yeah.
always never forget that. At the end of the day, we all grown, make our decisions, but there's always consequences. So there
And it
you go.
seems like you're pacing yourself too. I think that's very important in the business. It's like not trying to do too much
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of times people confuse movement with accomplishment.
I love that. Yeah,
You know, it's like you're doing and you're moving, but you really that movement could actually be setting you back 10
right,
steps.
right.
So just pace yourself, try to sit back and figure things out. And I feel like we live in a world that's just full of instant gratification. People are always constantly, constant uploads, constant downloads. And it's let's just take a break and really, really, truly put 100% effort into
Yeah, yeah.
building organically, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and with your business and what you're doing, it really seems like you're building organically. You're not out here trying to be somebody that you're not to
Mm-hmm.
get followers. You're not trying to like you're actually creating new things like with your a different route project. I mean, with all the motivational speaking, serial entrepreneurship, brand building, you still found some time to record an inspirational sound project
Mm-hmm.
titled A Different Route.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, tell us about that project and how it
Yeah.
came about.
Oh man. Yeah, that was my firstborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, so let me just go back to the product inspirational sound. I believe that's going to be a hit one day.
Okay.
Um, you know, so of course we have our culture, right, and we have the things that are of course negative. We have our positives, but like in everything, you got positive and negative, right? And I wanted to be more of a resource for the positive.
Mm.
You know, I feel like all right, so let me tell you the science. This is good to talk about. Let me tell you the science, you know, because I'm always into the science of
The
whatever I have to
science. Yes.
accomplish, right? So, majority of inspiration is like this, right?
Hitting you in the
You
head all
must
day
get it
long.
and earn, you know, whatever. And
Something
some
like
people,
propaganda.
right? It's like it's really just like it's not I would say fake energy because it's real, but the impact of once the energy transfers to the other source, it just goes away. You know, it's like this. You know,
It just keeps coming
and
and coming.
it's all energy. You know, like, and I feel like people don't really change themselves internally at a heightened level of energy and a heightened level of emotion. I feel like people really critically think and really change their inner workings or their inner thinking when they're calm.
Mm.
And that's why I wanted to deliver something that was soothing and calm because it's something that is not, you know, preacher style, but I'm not rapping. I'm speaking, but I've really found out that my voice can really lie within that genre of music. Nobody uses that genre of music to really, you know, really vocalize inspiration, but in a creative way. You know, I don't yell. I don't, you know, I don't really, you know, give you all just a bunch of just, you know, talk so fast. It just sounds inspiring, but I really ain't
Right.
saying nothing. I really make it, you know, critical thinking and thought provoking. And I knew it was a product I started building like in 2015. I started testing it out and it started really sounding good. You know, and my first project was really when I was like, man, I really think people need to hear this. I've let all my friends hear it. They love it. You know, all my cousins, my family. And, you know, I really feel like this is something that could be inserted into the inspirational market, but ultimately just the music market in general, because it's really not a genre. It's not really
It's
spoken
not
word.
really, but I feel like you can create that genre.
Yeah,
I
create
like
the
that.
genre. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not spoken word. I be trying to put inspirational sound in the genre. They're like, nah, spoken word is like the only thing. I'm like, well, it's not spoken
Yeah.
word. But whatever. I was go with spoken word. But it was just really being an avenue for inspiration that, kids can listen to. Kids don't, they're not really into that.
It's funny
you
you
know,
said kids because I really, I don't want to cut you off. I'm gonna
no, 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 go
I
ahead.
gotta
No,
tell
go
you.
ahead.
Well, when I listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the car especially because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it keeps me, I listen to your positive words and it keeps me focused on the good things
Right,
about traveling instead of focused on the negative bullshit about
right,
traffic and all those
right,
things, right?
right.
And just the other day, I'm like, yo, this would be all. If I had a kid,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I would want my kid to be in the car
Yeah,
listening to.
yeah,
So I think you should. I think it's like for all the adults out there with children, like this isn't just something for you.
right.
This is something for your children. Like
Children,
put that in the morning. Like even like when your children's going to sleep at night, you could put on that tape and let them hear
right,
Justin's voice and his
right.
affirmations and his positive words as they're going to sleep. When they wake up in the morning, put it on. When they wherever in
Yeah,
the car.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I listen to it every year. That's why I don't get phased by stuff. Like,
Mhm.
man, I mean, I've been pretty much all the business BS, but I literally wake up and listen to that stuff every single day. And it's not because it gets me crunk, but it's my mindset. Like, yo, when I'm listening to it, my mindset is just right. I'm positive. I'm hearing positive words. And I'm actually, listen, every new day you got a new challenge. So that, those things speak to you regardless of what you're going through based on because it's just life.
Right.
Um, and I really believed in that product ever since I thought about it. I'm like, man, nobody's doing this. All the inspiration is just very hard and very high energy. I'm like, man, people think when they're calm. You make your best decisions when you're calm and logical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you ultimately, I believe, being honest with yourself is when you're calm and logical. And that's what I wanted the inspirational sound to be able to insert itself in to be able to feed that, that feeling that I really believe changes people internally.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I've got such a great response from it, and I know I'm in for the long haul because positivity moves so much slower than negativity.
It does.
But
It
the great
does.
thing is, I got other businesses, and I ain't dependent on the growth of that to grow. I wanted to grow organically, just like you said, and that was the idea why I created Spark, the big boy. So I don't really need the money to like finesse or have to sell out or you know be cloudy to get to grow. You
Right.
know, and so yeah. But I'm so glad you asked about that because those projects, they're from experience. From the intro literally to deep in the fight. They used to laugh at me. They thought it was
Deep in the
everybody used to laugh, but it wasn't
yeah.
a joke to me.
They
From
probably
never,
calling you asking you to borrow money now.
oh man,
Man, I wish people would stop calling me asking me to borrow money,
literally, I
but
done gave my teammates hundreds.
and the
So
pandemic is now the pandemic has made it even worse, Justin. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, it's. I
you
mean,
feel
people that
bad for people, but you can only do what you
like
can do,
you can only do what you can
you
do.
know.
Yeah. That's why that track, Oh Sweet Success. Oh, I was
Mm.
feeling that the other day. I was like, oh, sweet success. How you seen so far? Try every day. Work hard. Oh man.
But when it
Yeah.
comes though, it's like,
Yeah. When it
whew,
comes, oh,
you
oh,
forgot all about the pain and misery and all the hard. You like,
yeah,
man, this is what it was all for, and it
for
feels
sure.
great. It
Yeah.
feels really really good, man. You know what I'm curious about though,
Mm-hmm.
Justin?
What's up?
You went to Riverdale Baptist,
Yes, I did.
which is a Christian, a private, a very good one. Actually have the
Yeah.
technology program now. I heard is off the chain,
Oh,
man.
cool.
I heard that
Nice.
joint is vicious.
Yeah.
Um, how was your transition? I'm like, so I'm trying to figure out the way I could put this the best way without me
You can ask me anyway.
rubbing anyone wrong. I know I won't
Okay.
rub you wrong, but
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want to rub any listeners wrong.
Right.
Now, Loyola University is a Jesuit
Yeah.
university,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
how was your transition from a Baptist high school to a Jesuit Catholic
Right.
based college,
Yeah.
and then to Toledo University, which
Yeah.
is none of that?
Right. Yeah, so it was different. I mean, of course, Loyola, it's on a different side of Baltimore. We think Baltimore is all very black. Hey, it ain't. They just in the back parts. They
Mm-hmm.
just not fresh off of 95. You go into the M&T. So it was a culture change. But when you play basketball, you get so much extra and free food and everybody wants to know you. So
Right, right,
you
right.
get love, So I wasn't going there. I was going there as a good stranger. Let's say that. But it was definitely different. They had mass every Sunday, and if you didn't go, I think like we had to go a couple times. But it wasn't too much of a transition as far as the school and what they held as values and all the traditions and stuff. That was kind of something new.
Because it's
I'm
still
not.
Christian based.
It's
It's
still
it's just
Christian
different
based.
the
Still, yeah,
denomination is
the denomination a little different, but and it was incorporated a lot into the schoolwork. I would say, man, a lot of the stuff seemed like it was just Catholic revolving.
yeah.
Just with
That's what I was like. Wow, like what
they
do you
kind of
just
teach
sit there
you
and
like,
study Catholicism
yeah,
or
it's
like
like
what?
they have other degrees and other majors. I actually left because they didn't have my major. I was studying
You did
political
criminal
science.
justice though, right?
I did criminal justice at Toledo, yeah,
At Toledo. What
at
did you
Toledo,
study at Loyola?
political science, and I was failing.
Oh man, yeah, those two.
The book was like this thick. I'm never
Yeah,
at class. The teacher is a freaking stiff. I
yeah.
mean,
See, that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking. That's what I'm envisioning when I think of Loyola. I'm like, were you able to ask the teacher questions? Were they
right.
nice? Were they
Yeah.
stiffs? Were they like
It
open?
was,
Like how the
yeah.
cultures,
The,
like
the culture was definitely closed. I mean, you were a basketball player, and you got praising you around, but you outside the
okay,
room. So you take it for what it is. I don't put the stamp on everybody, but
right,
you got good people and you got bad. And I just left it at that. But as far as the school though, I mean, we was hot. I mean, we was hot. So yeah, we in love. We was
right.
definitely in love. Yeah, we was hot.
He said, "Hi,
That's
hi."
my sophomore year. We was hot. I mean, shoot, we had everybody up at Loyola, autographs, pictures, interviews. So it was good on that experience because we were winning. So that
And do you think that and I feel like I ask this all the time, but it's something I'm just
yeah.
want to ask anybody who has graduated from college. Like, do you think that going to college helped your career as far as your businesses and building them and starting them and all those things?
hmm Um. So the funny thing is, since I've been in business, nobody has asked me do I have a degree. First thing,
Really?
since I've been in business,
I like that. I hope your
nobody.
listeners caught
Okay.
that. Hope your
So
listeners caught that.
being a boss. Okay, so let's say because sometimes I've had to pull to an employee role based on like a project or something where I had to use that. But on a level where I didn't have to submit a resume, and only like big government contracts, you got to submit a resume. But like for the private opportunity, I just got 80,000 for. I ain't have to show them no college degree or anything. Can you do it? We need it. Done.
Yeah.
So, with the answer to your question is no, you don't need it. Now, the only thing that I would really just tell kids is know what you're going into college for.
Mm.
Going to college for partying and that stuff is just so dumb
It's a waste of money.
now, especially now. Back then, maybe, because those student loans probably wouldn't change your life. But now, if somebody's just telling you to go to college just to go to college, they probably just did the same thing and probably in the same situation.
Right.
So I'm not against it, but you should know what you're doing. Like I got some young boys fresh out of school, and they want to start their own businesses, and they love software engineering. They love the science behind computers. And so I said, okay, so with that, you can start a business behind a computer science degree. You can start a business behind a software development degree. You know how many businesses need apps developed? So if you go there and learn, you can be the front for your business. So your business is something LLC. You'll just build the app for that company until you get enough contracts where you can hire other people to help you build apps, or eventually you're off the table and you're managing while they're building.
Man, if y'all starting a business and already have one, y'all better tap into Justin. Get his. We gonna make sure
Yeah,
we get his numbers, email, everything, man. Justin got the
sure.
science down packed, man.
Yeah, it's literally, you gotta drill it down. I mean, you gotta drill it down literally to the science. So, um,
Talk to us a little bit more about because I want to make sure I do. We
mhm,
touch on we talked about Spark. Now, I know we
mhm,
talked about Dreamers Inspiration, but we
right.
have to talk about these fly fits, man.
Or
These fly
executive,
digs
I
you got,
figured.
man. CEO of Exec Soup Company. Please fill
Yes.
us in on Exec Soup Company.
Yeah, so execs was an idea. So just back to the science. It's all about the science. So I know that Spark will have ups and downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that Spark will be a service business. So you got two types of businesses. You got a product business and you got a service business. They work totally different.
Get you some product, people.
Get you some product, like Master P said. Get you some product. Hey, get you some product, and that's what I literally did.
Legal product.
Yeah, legal product. Right.
Make sure
legal
we say
product.
that. I'm telling nobody I told you
Right,
go get some product.
right. So that's the foundation of where the idea came from. So let's trickle down to level 2. I know that there's ups and downs with Spark. Spark has process, right? Process kills business. So I know Spark is a process business. So there may be a month where I can't cover payroll or the client is paying me late. I mean, I can give you 100 scenarios why stuff goes wrong. But execs is a suit business. So I can close a deal in a day. I mean, what you need? Who need it? I got suits. The product is right here. So business moves faster, right? So the idea, and it's literally saved me via COVID. This is literally a story that showed the process to be true. So we're selling suits throughout the year. Spark is doing good. I'm not having to really pull money from execs or anything. So execs is pretty much growing, at a small rate. COVID hits. And I was really able to really use that business to help me stay afloat. And honestly, that business kind of kept going and was a little easier to get deals done in the meantime while COVID and all of my clients, which were really corporate and colleges, kind of left. So that was, I'm kind of fast forwarding a little, but that was the idea that panned out of why I started here. Now let's get into the business side of it. So we know in our area, tailor suits, 800, 700,
1,500,
1,500, like they
man,
straight just bankrupting people.
Don't you get no 5-piece or nothing? No
Yeah,
3-piece
exactly.
or nothing, man.
You easily spend $3,000 for 2 out here. I mean, yeah, for 2, and that's a deal. So I was like, something got to change on that. That's the first thing.
And still got to get them tailored. Not to cut you off,
Yeah,
but
right.
then
Yeah,
you still have to pay someone to tailor the suits. That's why I love what you're doing with execs, man.
And it really doesn't, and it really don't be the same. See, a tailor suit and an alter suit is totally different.
2 different things.
2 different things. That shoulder be up here, and the joint be close. And be like, hold on, why the shoulder like that?
Well, I altered it for you. I mean, it should fit. It's like, nah, that joint not tailored.
Made for me, brother.
That joint not made for me.
I'm calculating all those things. Third thing is I have a business. I wear suits every day. 3, and I really wanted. Black folks don't own no suit anything. I mean, really own it, not just be the face. Like I really own execs. Like if somebody said, "Yo, I need to talk to the boss of this company," they're coming to me. They're not, sometimes you just be talking to the rep of people's companies.
Right.
And just to show them that the businesses that you may think are far-fetched are accessible to us. Nobody's better than us. Nobody, white, black, whatever color you want to say, we're all human at the end of the day. Right. So anything you can do, honestly, I think I could do better. So I literally put up 1,500, took my flights across the world. I can't give too much information because you gotta keep it a little confidential.
You went and saw them Asians, didn't you? You ain't stupid, Justin. I know you're smart, man. I know you went to Asia somewhere, man. Did you go to Paris? Where'd you go? Asia, or did you go to?
Went to Asia.
Go to France or something. Okay.
Yeah, we went on the Asian Peninsula, the Asian Peninsula side, kind of around that area. And man, went through a grueling process of talking foreign business. I like to say I'm the Frank Lucas of the suit business. You see American Gangster? Yeah, I'm the Frank Lucas.
Actually, no, you the Frank Matthews. We don't like
Frank
snitches,
Matthews.
man.
All right, we'll scratch that.
Frank Matthews, bro.
Frank Matthews, yeah. Frank Matthews of suit business. So, went out there and literally, man, different cultures, really had to sit down and talk business with people. Met about 30 scammers, not really scammers, but people that didn't fit. Let me not put that out there, but it was definitely a good amount of people. Yeah, I need my money now, send it to this, and we'll help you. I'm like, oh, brother. You got to understand how American business works. Like, it's a long-term game. For the way we have to get into the market, it's a long-term game.
Cut that middleman out, man. That's why I like that you took that flight.
Yeah, took that flight, put my own money up, and went out there and made it happen. And came back with the right person.
Did you get the velvet? Did you get the suits, the silk, and the velvets?
Yeah, we got the velvets, we got the cashmere.
You went out there, got the quality material, man.
Quality, that's where it comes from. Like, y'all think you getting it here off the 10th hand. Like, I'm getting it there off the first hand.
Right.
And they're looking for good business people. You got to find the right one because your name is on this stuff. So you just, got to be smart. So I met my business partner, and we built a relationship for 3.5 years before I sold one suit to anybody for a price or for a purchase. If I gave you a suit, I gave it to you for free, or I gave you discounts so you could test it out.
Respect.
But and the reason why I took those 3 years is first thing I had to test out the suits. I had to make sure I understand what business I'm getting into. Like, I don't know this really stuff. And of course, my name is on it. So I have to make sure that my infrastructure is rock solid and that this person I'm working with is rock solid. And for 3.5 years, this person has been the most honest, it was like a match made in heaven. And he's learned great English since we've been talking the last 3.5 years.
Awesome.
So
You
it's like,
smart as
I
hell,
mean, he
man.
was great at it, but I was
You
like,
really went over there and tapped
yeah,
in.
yeah, no,
He
I
didn't
went
even
to the
speak
jungle.
English.
Yeah, I went to the jungle. I went to definitely the jungle. But where it's made, I mean, we had the the quality of the stuff. You go in the sun, it's like melanin, no lie. And I really just saw that as a niche. Like, I can really blow these people out of the water now. So I have the quality. My quality is high, but I always respected just knowing that you a little guy. You have to be okay with being a little guy. Because everything big starts small. So I'm like, how can I really blast on the market and undercut what people usually know as their suit providers? By what? Having great quality and having low prices.
My man.
And that was the way I baked in. I mean, originally my suit was 2 for $4.99, so I was on crack with that. I was like, yo, they low, so you gotta come here. Like 2 for $4.99 of these.
Now now 499. Cause when you
$4.99.
say 499, I'm sitting down there like, hold up, then granted, we should have enough common sense to know that
Right,
it's
right.
two
Two
well
suits,
quality
right.
two
Exactly.
quality tailored suits are nowhere near $5. But you know how
Exactly.
people are,
Oh
man.
yeah, I've gotten that before.
You
The
know how people are, man.
$4.99.
Yeah,
Right.
I know what
So
you mean, but just in case,
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't.
because but that's still cheap though. And they be like, man, what you
It
about to give me
is.
like a piece of garbage? What you
But then
sell?
you have the people. This is the problem that I have with our people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like to invest in ourselves.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: I don't look at how much something costs. I look at the price difference
Right.
because I'm gonna spend money anyway.
Right. Exactly.
So if I know for sure that this costs $1,000
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get way more quality if I spend $200 more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spend the extra $200. So either way, I'm
Exactly.
spending 1,000.
Right. Exactly.
So I want something to last me, like that suit or whatever
Yeah.
that $200 different. It might last me another 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I want to tell the listeners that when
Yeah.
you going out and you purchasing Jordans or you purchasing $100 pair of jeans,
Right.
this suit is $250,
Right.
and it's gonna
Exactly.
last you forever.
It's gonna get you
I'm
that
not, I don't know
job.
if it lasts you
Exactly.
forever, depending on how you wear it, but it'll
Right.
last you a long, long time.
Totally, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that was, that was the goal. And just, so Black people can see that, like, we own suit companies. I mean, like, that's like, some people don't think Black people can own really cool tech companies. I mean, like, the average Black kid doesn't really see a lot of tech, but they don't see a lot of suit companies either. So just wanted to just fill one of those gaps as far as,
Right.
where I know we need representation. So the next young boys coming around, that's something that they can't attain, because it all starts with just inspiring people.
Yeah.
If you're not inspiring people to achieve it, but you got to do it. People be trying to inspire people and ain't doing nothing. I'm like, yo, it's not what you're saying that's really inspiring people. It's what you're doing that's inspiring people, and you're sharing the gems or that information that is motivating people to look within themselves to say, okay, what am I doing? What do I need to do? Wow, he's doing something great. Oh, that means that's what it is. But people try to inspire, but you're not doing anything. And I'm like, man, people don't care about what you say. At the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
ultimately what you're doing.
That'll attract people.
It'll
So
attract people.
you can lead with positive words and
Right.
affirmations, but you have to put some put some
Yeah,
actions behind that too.
yeah.
Justin, I want to ask you: Are you single?
But I'm more
Okay.
so married to my business. I mean, she be asking me, am I still your girlfriend? Just spark your girlfriend. So I would say I'm married to my business right now until
Well,
I
see,
get
that's
married.
why I asked you because you
Yeah.
seem like such a well put together guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how are you able to do all of this? And I
Yeah.
know there's some women out. It has to be some woman you
Oh,
like and some woman who
oh,
likes you. Like, how are
sure.
you able to navigate a
Yeah.
relationship and still build your business? A lot of people need to know that.
Yeah. First thing is I don't waste time. I don't. The time that I do have to myself, I probably have about 16 hours to myself a day. Just kind of focusing on exactly what I need to do. Sometimes I get pulled away with doing certain stuff for the business, but I just really value my time. Like I wake up at pretty much 7 every morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do like today I had majority of Spark from like 9 to 1. Then I had to go drive an hour to deliver 4 suits today.
Mm.
So it's really just
Fully.
planning out my time, but you have to have a partner that understands where you're going, you know. You know, I'm in a situation right now where mine does. You know, she's helped me with payroll before. She's done things for me
That's
that like,
awesome.
okay, I see where you're going and I'm going to benefit from this just like you will. I
Right.
mean, we're in the same house. I mean, if you think about it, so that's your investment. So that's what I would say is how I do it. It's just time management and having a partner that knows, you know, understands the goal and whether her lack of being able to help, you know, for during rough times or her ability to be just a support system
Mm-hmm.
is crucial because it's not a one person job. When you have a family, everybody's a part of your business. It's not just, you know, whoever's attached to you, they're going to either feel the stress, the letdowns, the downtimes, the uptimes. They're part of that roller coaster too. But it's doable. But like I said, you got the right partner. Because some people want your time too much.
Yeah.
But you know, my time is really my value, not the
Yeah.
the time. My time. You know, if I just waste all this time, I can't build a
You
business.
can't build.
Business take time.
Right. You
You
gotta
know,
sacrifice. People don't know
gotta
it takes
sacrifice.
sacrifice, man, when you're building a business. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
good to
I've
hear that you have
sacrificed.
somebody in your life that's understanding to that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask you one more personal
yeah,
question. You
for
don't
sure.
have to answer it if you don't want to.
Yeah, for
Would
sure.
you consider yourself a traditional man or a modern man? Or neither?
I would say traditional.
Okay.
You know, I'm more of, I'm a guy of boundaries. Um, you know, if you ask me, you know, I believe, men were put here for, to help to bring boundaries, and bring protection for, for what we love and what we, own, whether it's business, land, whatever. So I would say those are more, I would say traditional values in this day and age, just to be frank. I just keep 100. I mean, the men, these days, man, be nut check, man, because the ability to just get past adversity,
Right.
you know, it's not physical. It's
Right.
not physical majority of the times, and if it's not physical, you can fix that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just being mentally strong, and yeah. So I would definitely say the traditional man,
And when you say traditional man, do you mean traditional in the sense of you believe that women should be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen cooking and not
No, no,
working
no,
and
no, 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 no.
not that type of traditional
No,
man,
no,
but
no,
you
no.
believe
But
in
yeah,
protecting and
obviously that's like,
providing.
yeah, that's like kind of the weird. Yeah, that's like the corrupted way of where it went.
The uber traditional man,
Yeah,
like the
Uber
extreme traditional
yeah.
man. Yeah. So
No, no.
you're a little modern man mixed with
Yeah, I would say
traditional.
yeah. Okay, so now I got your definition. Yeah, I'm definitely a little
Okay.
modern. I'm not with the whole that more. See now for me, you know, I since I work all the time, me having a partner that works all the time, it wouldn't really work. Because if we
Right.
thinking about like having a family soon, so I'm just kind of looking into the future. So if thinking down the line, she had a bunch of businesses, I have a bunch of businesses. You're obligated to those businesses,
Right.
and that's where like you don't have a choice whether you're really getting up and going to do something, or a choice whether you have a choice come with time, boss time, but you ultimately have to go get the job done. And that's something that since I'm a lot of that, I don't really need my partner or my wife or my girl to really be that. Now, for those women that are in the situations where they are that and their man is in another position, that's really them. I'm not really the guy for that. I like to work. I like to provide. Like that gets me going. I mean, like one day when I have a family, making sure they're taken care of is the reason why I would get up every day. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can take care of myself, but being able to provide and protect, those are some of the things that I value. And that's why I want to be in business, because I ain't never coming home saying, baby, I got fired today.
I dig it.
That ain't happening.
I love that about you, man. Like you
So,
started out
yeah,
young, being a man who cares about securing
yeah.
not only the bag but the family, man.
Family,
The family.
if we ain't got the family, and if we don't have financial protection for our families, we susceptible to anything that the world offering.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes, as a culture and as a people, we get sucked in, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the money, you got to pay your bills. And I get it. But it's our job to recreate that reality so we don't have to go down those certain roads because we own stuff. We own stuff. My company's all black, and I will continue to hire all black people. Until
That's
you got
awesome,
those,
man.
you got those diversity folks. You drop in there, but my goal is to uplift the people that look like me because nobody else will. I
Real
mean,
talk,
I'm not
man.
putting the tag on, but nobody as a majority will be the one that really will change it. They busy trying to change theirs. They busy trying to
Right.
help their folks.
We're
So
our own worst enemy,
we're
man.
our own worst enemy and we're
Own
our
worst
own
enemy.
solution.
Remind me of a Malcolm X quote, man.
Yeah.
Malcolm X said that we black men have a hard enough time in our own struggle for justice
Mm-hmm.
and already have enough enemies as it is
Yeah.
to make the drastic mistake of attacking each other and adding more weight to an already unbearable load.
Yeah.
Late great Malcolm X, man.
I love Malcolm X.
Yeah,
Great.
it's real talk. Save us from ourselves, man. We need more brothers like you out here for sure, man.
Yeah, that's why I try to get out that information. I just be so busy, it's a lot to juggle. But I enjoy it though, I have my fun. I don't really go out too much. I'm working all the time, but working is my fun. Um, you know, like to roll up a little bit and have a little fun sometimes.
I
Get my
want to ask
mind
you
right.
another question. I can't keep asking you questions.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
freedom.
so glad I have you here because I've really been waiting for this, man. Because you're a
Yeah,
guy who's full of gems and you have a lot of knowledge to spread.
yeah.
Now tell us how entrepreneurs can use rejection to their advantage.
Oh, perfect. So the best way to use rejection is advantage. You cut their ass off that list. It's like
I know that's
in the
right,
video I said, right?
man. Cut their ass off.
Basically, like I said, so a lot of business development, this is where it comes. Business development is great for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is where rejection could really be the thing that moves you forward. Is you got 50 people on this list, finding out who's really going to give you an opportunity and who's not speeds up your process to even understanding, is this list even potentially going to bring me value? If not, we throw it away, we're moving. So we're still moving forward. Moving forward doesn't always mean you found the right answer. Moving forward sometimes means you found the wrong answer and you're moving past that, you know? And so that's what I kind of use, if you let me know that you don't need me or my value can't be it. Because sometimes you got to hang around. Sometimes you got to continue to send that email 3 or 4 months. You may not get a response back, but they
Keep
actually do
trying.
need it. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, but you have to just continue to know what's a potential opportunity, what's a sleep one, and what's a no opportunity. And that's where I say rejection can help you because if you ain't cool with me, I can top you off the list and not waste my time sending you an email every morning. I can spend that money, sending somebody else another email, which can get me to an opportunity. So that's why I say people, you
That
flip
makes
that
sense.
rejection, and it's more of okay, you reject. Now I got fresh names to go after. You know what I mean? So
What's one thing people don't know about you or your brand or your brands, your
um,
businesses,
man,
plural, right? That you would like people to know.
I love Disney. I love Disney soundtracks.
You're awesome. You're
I've
awesome,
done Disney
man.
soundtracks from
Well
Mulan
balanced man right here,
to
brothers and
Aladdin
sisters.
to no, I wish. I have one adopted sister. I have one adopted sister, but she be adopted when she was kind of older like us. So I never really had the little sister experience. I got a bunch of little cousins though. But I've always wanted just a little sister. Just I used to play basketball and stuff. She make you feel like you saw her and
That's
stuff.
dope.
But yeah,
What's
so
your favorite Disney movie?
oh man. So I would probably have to say Mulan.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say the Jungle Book. Hold
Oh,
up.
the
Was it the
Jungle Book.
Jungle
Oh,
Book?
Mowgli. I love the Jungle. I like
Yeah,
Jungle
the
Book
Jungle
though.
Book. That's one of my favorite joints
Yeah,
right
I like
there.
Jungle Book.
I don't know
Mowgli.
why I thought you was about this. It's like your lips were forming like
There is
Jungle Book.
a
Like, wow,
necessity. Don't worry about
that's
the
dope. That's
words.
dope though. That's
Yeah,
dope,
so
man.
I like to see
Impressive.
my things. I try to keep my mind positive, and this is something I much want to speak on real quick.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't like to talk about this, but hip hop right now, it has great and okay, economically it does well, but money, money can throw away a lot of evil. Well, money can shadow a lot of evils,
Yeah.
and it's just so hard for our people to understand this. It's like it was never like this. Like it wasn't always like this. You go back 1980, 1970, the type of music we were making was not destructive to our own selves.
Rap started to motivate and inspire people.
Yeah, it started to
It really,
inspire people,
yeah, it was really for
literally inspire people
motivation
to get active, either
and
to get
educate
out
too.
and
They started to
educate,
educate people.
right?
Yeah.
Let people know about the real issues that maybe the news ain't telling them. We know how that stuff is, but today it just saddens me a little bit that we have grown men that are putting this stuff out, knowing that our youth don't have anything else to look to. And you hear some of them detached from it, like, oh, don't look at me as no role model.
That's
Don't look at
exactly what they
me.
do. Yep.
And I'm like, brother, no, not, but that's your calling that you got from up above. This is why you're here, bro. This is a one in a lifetime opportunity. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like, which God, which power are you serving? And it just hard, saddens me that our grown men are just pushing so much garbage to our young people, and then we're mad when the cycle goes like this. I mean, there's
Oh
nothing more
man.
powerful than music. I mean,
I'm upset
music,
with black women. I feel like it
yeah,
comes through us
that too. I
first.
mean, even just
Honestly, I was
oh,
watching
I'm
and I
loving
don't
it.
even watch the music awards anymore
Right.
because they
Yeah,
piss me off,
yeah.
Justin.
No,
But
I'm
I'm like, forget it. Like, let me go
right.
and tap into
Nothing wrong with
the
it.
2020 BET Awards.
Right.
Justin, every woman is dressed like a stripper.
Shaking ass.
Stripper.
Yeah.
It's past shaking their ass now.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually
Oh,
dressed
right.
like a stripper.
Yeah.
Men don't do that. Male rappers do not. The only time you see a man dressed like a stripper is at the male strip club.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
it might not be a male, it might be a special event, but
Right.
regardless, it's at a strip club or a strip
Right.
party or in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
Women nowadays, we are naked, bro. I'm tired of seeing naked women.
Yeah. It's like,
And it's
dog.
hard for me to feel that way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And that's when getting crazy. When you
I'm
be like, oh,
tired of it.
put your clothes on. So like, it's all good. Like, let me know something else about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Muslim women are looking very attractive
Very
nowadays,
attractive
man.
today, right?
Y'all look real
Right.
good.
Yeah. About Abu Dhabi, you
Shout
see
out
the
to my
vibe.
women, by the way, man. I love good, respectable women who are
Yeah.
fly, intelligent, you know what I'm saying, know how to get money,
Right.
but they know how to be respectable
Want to
and
be
graceful, man. What are y'all?
respected.
Anyway, I'm with you on that hip hop though, man.
Speaking because and it's like, but it's like the worst thing is we're taking our own like disease. It's like, yo, somebody give you medicine that's bad for it, but you still take it. That's on you. That's what we're doing right
It's
now.
a habit.
It's like, yo,
Creatures a habit.
we're literally feeding ourselves a thing that is hurting us.
Yeah.
And that's why, man, I try to be honest with black folks, and in our community, but I understand where I'm at and I understand the world that I live in. So there will come a time when Justin Drummond will be as honest as he ever will be. But I understand that I have employees, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got other people that depend on me. And people will be like, yo, why don't you be speaking your mind? Like you feel this way about this, that way about that. I'll be like, brother, because you see, while you playing checkers, I'm playing chess. And I have
Yeah.
to play chess because I got my employees that depend on me. So if I go out here and say something that rubs the wrong person the wrong way that may be connected to an opportunity, I'm robbing my employees of the stability of what they use to depend on.
Yeah.
But there will be a day when I'm rich enough to be like, dog, they're going to be straight. I'm straight. It's time to deliver some truth to y'all.
Yeah, man. We can go back to the days of Grandmaster Flash and Furious
Yeah.
5 talking about the message, man. Come on.
But we need it from a
Like
point
we
where
need that
like,
type of stuff back, man. That's why we having
yeah,
real artists on the show, man. I don't,
yeah.
I like trap rap, but
Right.
it's everything in moderation. It's
It's
saturated. It's
moderation,
too
right.
much of this death and
Moderation.
negative energy, man. It's too much of it. Sex.
You got Cardi B on the radio. I'm like, yo, our kids, we got black radio, you got white radio. It just is what it is. Our radios, I'm like, if you go to other cultures, they're talking about like stocks. They're talking about something that is just positive to the mind. In the morning, our kids
And
going to school of
fun. And
21
fun stuff.
Savage. Yeah, right. Not right. They're going off school of 21 Savage. Just that's not we can't be surprised at the outcome. This is all I'm saying. Don't be
I
surprised.
know, man. I
So,
appreciate you for feeling that way and
yeah, and
understanding
I'm
that.
gonna continue to speak, and that's why I did inspirational sound because ultimately I'm giving a solution. I'm not just giving you the information, and I'm giving you a solution. You can go listen to this. Or you need something, they be like, oh, well, I found motivation in that one line under all the kill niggas, kill, 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 kill. Shoot this, shoot that. Nah, dog, that ain't real motivation, bro.
But they comfortable with that
Yeah, they
because
like, yeah,
it's been embedded into them for so long
exactly.
and passed down for so many damn years that it's like that's what makes them comfortable. They don't realize like that's a demonic
That's a
energy.
demonic energy, dog. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder why death is in our culture because literally, what is every song saying?
death. Let's have sex.
Right.
And then it's like if you think about it, it puts us in terrible. The music, what is drilling into our minds, puts
Mhm.
us in bad financial
For
situations
sure.
because
For
you
sure.
can't afford 10 kids, but you out here
Right.
trying to have sex with every damn woman or every damn man, and you can't afford these kids. It's not right. It's not fair to these kids.
Exactly.
And then if you can't even afford them, look at the time. People are spread
Yeah.
so thin they can't be and spend quality time with their kids
Right.
and be a family.
Yeah, and that's where I think, man, ever since, let me go back to when our family structure just, went away, man. Family is everything. Family is where the foundation is. And if you don't have that, our communities, we kind of see the example. Let me ask you a question though.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is it's kind of a little raw, but it's not like, it's not, if you gotta keep it real with yourself. I see so many people out here. We have more baby mamas and wives, more baby showers and marriages. What do you think about that in our community and the scale of how you
It
see
it, it 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 goes right back to the black woman. It does. It starts with us. And once I really feel like once black women really truly take the time to heal,
it? Mm-hmm.
then we will understand who we are, we'll understand our power, and we'll be able to give that to black men.
Yeah,
Because right now we're all traumatized and we're all
yeah,
hurting, but we
yeah.
don't know. We're trying to get our power back from each other.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't get your power back
Right.
through me, and I can't get it back through you. We
Right.
have to go to the
So,
motherfucker
yeah.
who took it from us, from
Right.
both of us.
Right.
And I feel like that's what we're doing in the community. We're going back and forth trying to trying to feel like we're better than our
Yeah.
own sisters and brothers.
Right. And it's like it's so bad. We're the only culture, the only. No other culture really battles themselves at the rates that we do.
Yeah.
And it's like, and let's just go back to family. I mean, the fact that we don't, I get married to some government stuff, yeah, all that, yeah, but it does bring structure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just can't walk out. And for my brothers, you can probably, your woman, you can have a lot more control over a situation if she's your wife rather than she's your baby mama, dog. So don't be mad for the situation you put yourself into and the reaction that you
Well,
get.
men are not disciplined. Let's just be
No, oh yeah,
real.
for
Like
sure,
men
not at all.
sexually, but women aren't disciplined. So
Exactly.
how
That's
can men be disciplined if women aren't disciplined? And I'm not blaming things on women. I'm not blaming things on men.
mm-hmm.
I'm blaming things on there's a divine order when it
This
comes
is
to this.
divine order. Yeah,
Everything comes through the black woman.
for
So
sure.
whether we like to
Whether we like it or not.
acknowledge it or not, we have a different
Right.
obligation and we have a higher responsibility when it comes to
Right.
this physical life. We do. And
We
we owe
do.
it to our men, we owe it to our children, we owe it to
Mm-hmm.
future generations. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really answer your question earlier, but I do want to say this. I feel like men and women are pinned against each other from the get. From
Mm-hmm.
day one, most of the time, parents teach women or little girls, they
Mm-hmm.
say, when you grow up, you go out here and you find a man who's gonna do what?
Right.
Take care of you,
Yeah.
provide for you, right?
Right.
That's the first thing they say.
First thing they
What
say.
qualities do you like in a man? I want him to be funny. I mean, and I want him to have money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. But then you tell little boys, when you get older, you make sure you don't deal with no woman who wants you for your money. You
Right.
find a woman who wants you for you.
Right.
That right there in itself, that one thing is starting the whole
Mm-hmm.
division when it comes to men and women because they get older. The woman's looking for a man that's going to provide,
Right.
and they don't never really teach women to find a man who's going to protect you. That's something they leave out of the equation a
Yeah.
lot of the times when they're teaching women these things.
Yeah.
And then the boy, he's looking for somebody who really cares about him, his heart,
Right.
his soul, who he is to his core, not what he can materialistically, provide for you material wise. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that
No,
in itself, and everybody focused on sex, bro. We sexual deviants out
bro, we
here.
sexual freaking rabbits out.
Crazy.
I mean, like literally, and it's kind of baffling. After you get us past a certain age, I would think people like mature, but we not mature. It's like, yo, as our age, as your age, you're supposed to go through phases of it. We only got no chart no more. There's no chart no more.
Maturity doesn't come with age. Sometimes age
It does
comes
not.
alone.
It does not. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
it
maturity
comes
is
by itself, man.
yeah, exactly.
It's sad, but what you that's why your work is so important, bro. And that's why I
Yeah,
really respect and love what you're doing because
for
what
sure.
you're doing is helping that along the way. You're helping us bring that family values back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if you know it or not, but you really, really are because it starts. with the basic principles. And the
Mm-hmm.
principles that you apply to your business is something that you have to apply to life. If you're not a good person, you can't be a good anything.
Can't be good at anything.
You know, like we had these terrible police officers. They
Mm-hmm.
could be good police officers if they
Right.
were good human beings.
Exactly. Yeah, because it starts under the
Starts
uniform.
here.
Starts under the uniform.
Right.
It's never the
Discretion.
uniform. Yeah,
Discretion is everything. Police officers
exactly.
have discretion. They
Right.
use it.
And
Use it in a good way.
it's just what it's at the end of the day, man. What side is your soul on? What side do you support? Are you good or is you evil? It's no in between.
It's
Good
definitely no in
or it's evil.
between. Yes.
Point blank.
Yes. Yes.
And that's how I give it because people get confused everything that's going on. I'm like, man, to drill it down, good and evil, and
Good and
that's
evil. And that's the battle. It's not
because
us against them.
it's
And
literally the battle. Yeah, it's literally the
is
battle.
you fighting for God or not, man? You
Yeah,
know? And that's another good thing about you. You're using your vessel for
yeah,
good.
yeah, for
For
good.
good.
That's
You know
and
what I want to touch on because you
yeah,
brought it up, and I don't want to drag this out, but I do want to because I think this is a very
yeah,
important thing because a lot of men fail in business because they're people. Period. I'm not going to
right,
say men because we
yeah,
all right now are lacking when it comes to a lot of good
mhm,
attributes and characteristics that we should have. Sexual discipline.
right,
A lot of people fail in business because they're not sexually
for sure,
disciplined.
for sure.
Talk to us about
Definitely a male thing. I mean,
it's more so a
no,
male
keep it
thing,
real.
but
Yeah,
I
it's a
have to
male thing.
include
Oh,
everybody.
for
You know, I
sure.
have
Yeah,
to because
let's
there
keep it
are
100.
women out here who are doing
Mm-hmm.
stupid, crazy crap as well,
Mm-hmm.
jeopardizing their family, their
Right,
households, and their businesses over a piece.
right.
So how do you feel about it, man? And what advice can you give
Yeah.
men and
So,
women out here who are trying to navigate this business and stay on top of
well,
things?
the first thing is, I can say character. That's it. Also, that's ultimately the foundation. Is somebody's character. I'm in a position right now where I have people that work for me. I got young ladies. And I got older guys. I got older women as well. But I'm just gonna keep it 100. They look at you like you not, you are the person that is providing them. Like you always say, you can always make sure an animal comes back. You give them food one time, we back at your doorstep next day,
With
next
wide
day,
eyes.
next day, next day. So, so those opportunities where let's say your character can be tested is based on somebody's need for you,
Yeah.
right? And that's where a lot of guys or a lot of those people who get into these things have a lack of character because when you have power that really shows you your character. Because if I have power to do something, if I like you and you're not advancing on me or you're not giving me what I want, I cut your check every 2 weeks. So that's something that is incoherently, that's if he's the boss, that's what happens. And it just comes down to me having character.
Right.
I don't, I've always had great self-control. I believe to even get here where I am today, I've had to have self-control, knowing not to do that, do this. Even though you want to do that, you can't do that. Even though you want to do this, you should, but you didn't. I've really been able to. I talk to Justin a lot. I mean,
Good.
that's what some of them inspirational sound things is. So I literally be talking to myself in some of those, and and just having a good. I just have good character.
Good
It
job,
wasn't built
man.
overnight. I made my mistakes, but I would say that's the reason why I've been able to at least stay away from those situations, or even not even really kind of get excited by that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's like a turn off.
Yeah, and it's
People
and it's
throw they
great.
it's like people throwing themselves at you and it's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
scary in a way. It
Scary.
gets
It's
to a
scary.
point
It's scary.
it's scary.
It's scary.
Scary,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's scary because it's kind of like really like the monster in real life. Like
Really,
it's
really.
really the monster in real life, and so I'm more so just trying to make sure that the females that work with me, that they're straight. If you need anything, is it whatever it is, but probably more on the protection side is probably where I would probably more on so be the let's say the the overseer on that one. But yeah, it just comes down to character. People don't have character, and then of course discipline. But those go hand in hand. But I've seen people, cranking the assistant, and she get caught up, then she calls rape or she calls something, and the
Right.
whole business go down.
It could be anything. Think
Or
about your
somebody,
families.
yeah, yeah. So you just man, you gotta have a nice character foundation.
I dig that, man.
Yeah,
Brothers and sisters, I hope y'all heard that out there, man.
for sure.
Stay true.
I had that
Tap
character,
tap
man.
into that integrity, man, and that character, man. You need to do
Yeah,
that for sure.
yeah.
So we're at the quick
Perfect.
six now,
All right,
Justin. I'm gonna ask you six quick questions.
let's do it.
Give me six quick answers.
Good answer. All right, got you.
All right.
All right,
Name
let's
one of
do it.
your favorite items that you've either lost, that were either lost, stolen, or damaged.
Could I have lost it and found it?
Sure.
This gold chain.
I
I
dig it.
lost it for 2 years. 24 karat gold chain. I got it when I was in Abu
That
Dhabi.
sound like me.
And literally, this is my prized possession. This really just
That's
kind of, you know
dope.
how kind of like Superman got his cape? This is my cape.
That's dope. How? When did you find it?
I found it about 3 months ago.
Dope.
I found it in my parents' house. I didn't have it 2 years, and I wore this for every
In your
single day
parents'
for my life.
house.
Yeah, I wore it
That
every
gives me hope, man. I
day.
lost like 2 carats, and I'm hoping to God that I can find them shits.
Yeah,
Maybe I need to go to my parents' house.
yeah.
I
That's
love
why I
you.
didn't look for a while, but I just was like, man, I was hurt when I found it. Yeah,
I
so
dig it. Let me move on. It's supposed to be
yeah,
quick six, right?
cool. Yeah,
If
I'm
you could
sorry.
have
Yeah, I just had to verify because I'm like
no,
this
that was my fault though. That was my fault. But if you could have a superpower, Justin, what would it be?
superpower reminds
Okay. What is the quality you like most in a woman?
patience.
Mm, dig it. That's something we all need to work on. If you found $5,000 on the ground, what would you do with it?
I would probably put it into execs and buy all the suits that. Oh, you want like give like a what's
No, for real. Whatever you would do with it. You
oh
found
right
five
now yeah
thousand. What you would do with
yeah
it?
right now if I find $5,000 I would invest it into exec suit company to buy the suits that we need for the models. Right now I don't have enough money to buy all the suits I need so we can have all the
Have a
models that
whole
makes
spread.
yeah
Okay, I
the
dig it.
whole sprays. We got like 60 options, so that's where we go.
Okay. If someone gifted you an elephant and you can't get rid of it, what would you do with it?
Turn into a business.
I dig it. You figure out a this joint gonna start a new
Make
circus.
elephant showing. $5. Bring your kids.
I dig it. You
Rack
figure
up,
out a way to chop that
create a
joint
little
up.
cage, and you just walk out the street and you ride the elephant.
All right. If you had three wishes, what would they be?
The first wish is to all right, so have a daughter one day. That's one wish. Um, Second wish is to be able to have over 100 employees one day. That's the second wish. And the third wish is to make sure when my parents leave this earth, make sure that they're proud of me. That's third.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Solid answers, Justin. Tell them where to find you on social
Yeah.
media and how
So
to
y'all
contact you for bookings.
got a couple little links. So the first one, Justin.Drummond underscore, the inspirations, but just Justin.Drummond. That's where I'm on my pretty much daily, my inspiration, my life, pretty much how I move. But then I have a couple other companies. Exec Suit Company is Execs, EXECZ. And just a quick, we called it Execs because we want everybody to tap into their inner executive.
There you go.
So execs dot underscore underscore suits underscore company. Dreamers underscore inspiration. I do a lot. People always say, how do you have enough 24 hours in a day? So dreamers underscore inspiration. And then that's pretty much it. If you go on there, you pretty much see all the creative things I do. Spark is on social media, but that's like corporate. That's not really the fun stuff, but it makes a lot of fun stuff. But you can follow us there, Spark C LLC as well.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, and they're all on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, thanks a lot,
Yeah.
man. We're going to leave this show the way we leave every show, on a positive note. Life is an echo. What you send out, you get back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you. Always remember, life is like an echo. It always gets back to you. So give love and goodness, for they are the only investments that never fail.
Word.
Yeah, that's a good one right
That was
there,
love.
man. Thanks again, Justin, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
swear
I
it's
appreciate
been great having you
it.
here.
It
The
was.
inspirationness. Thank you
Yes,
so much for joining
inspirational.
the tap in. Make sure all my sisters and brothers, all my listeners, make sure you guys support this brother.
Yeah,
Tap in his social media, support all of his brands. Stay up to date with True Culture at Human Nature TV on YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Instagram. That is HUEman Nature TV on SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Sisters and brothers, the revolution may not be televised, but it will be broadcasted. True Culture on Human Nature TV. Peace.
Peace.